just wanted to talk about some reasons why people don't want to acknowledge AI at the moment. And they're very understandable reasons. I'd say one of them is called the normalcy bias, where people want to feel that things aren't changing and they will be like they always have been because it gives us comfort. And we know that things don't stay the same, but this especially doesn't apply to this time where we are, where there's an exponential growth curve. So normalcy bias is one of the things. The next one is we're just preoccupied by paying the bills, taxes, doing the general things that we do, buying the groceries, watching the cat videos. We always have time for the cat videos. But the thing is, and then we think, oh, those things are more important. But in reality, if there's a disaster as a result of uncontrolled AI, we won't be able to do our groceries normally anymore. What if they turn off all the power and we have to do foraging again? So what I mean is, we do think that those things are so important, and they are, but that could all go very quickly. So that's why I think advocating for AI safety and AI awareness should always take a front seat, especially when you're near the kick of the exponential curve. The next reason is we didn't expect to live in this time. We always probably saw it as something in hundreds or thousands of years in the future. But the last 10, 20 years have shown that AI is moving so much faster than we anticipated. So people are quite surprised by that, and they find it's hard to accept it. And of course, we always say, oh, it's always been like that. There's always been changes. There have, but I think we might see the changes, bigger changes in the next 10 to 20 years than we've seen in the last 100 years. Like, the rate of it is so much faster, unfathomably more fast. So it's hard for us because we don't have much of a reference point, and we're evolved to not understand exponential changes. So, because when we evolved, we didn't really notice many exponential things because they weren't required for our survival. I'd say one thing we have experienced that's exponential is COVID. COVID-19, in the first month or two, no one could believe how quickly it would develop and how much of an impact it would have. Well, mark my words, AI is bigger than COVID, and it will come like a tsunami because it is so big. And COVID was massive and it was devastating. AI will absolutely come crashing towards us, and it will be faster than we expect, and it will be irreversible. COVID has now become part of our lives, and we're still there, but we're not in the midst of the pandemic. After AI, we will not stabilize back to what we were. It will be different forever. But COVID is a good analogy because it's an example of an exponential change that none of us would understand or expect, because we'd never seen something like that in our lifetimes. Another thing that I think might cause our wanting to not think about AI is possibly existential dread, and maybe we've evolved a mechanism to kind of hide existential dread really deep so that we don't talk about it. And it's basically like the movie Don't Look Up. Something's happening, the asteroid's coming, but we all choose to not look up because it's the easier thing to do. So part of it is about emotional reasons, and I understand that, but sometimes if you hide away from something because of that, it can have devastating consequences in the end. So it does help in the short term. For example, if someone's addicted to cigarettes, each cigarette might give them comfort in the short term, but the accumulative effect of the cigarettes will be devastating for their health and could lead to horrendous health consequences. And that's an analogy I want to use for kind of hiding AI under the rug. It gives a bit of comfort, but each time we hide it under the rug, but when let's say something hits the fan, it will be too late, very likely, because once we have something more powerful and more intelligent than ourselves, it will be very hard to control it, in my opinion. And not even the top AI scientists have a solution for this yet. So I think we have to acknowledge that AGI cometh.